and gentlemen, I know for sure you have a wonderful evening, or whatever time you are in your area. You're having it wonderful with God and with grace. This evening, we want to reach out to every one of you on the subject titled Wealth Creation. Wealth is something everyone yearns for. Everyone wants to be wealthy, but there are technicalities that must be put in place if you don't want to be stranded in life. There are technicalities that must be put in place, and we have instances where certain persons have put in these technicalities and they have become something in life. They have become mentors to so many who want to become like them in the nearest future. So we are narrowing down this evening to Christians and how they can become wealthy through the right source, knowing fully well that there are many people who have garnered wealth in this end time, but not through the right source. The Bible says in the book of Proverbs, there is a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof is destruction. When you see the way people have gone to length and breadth of dimensions, certain dimensions in life to get wealth, you will discover that the end of so many in this generation, it's going to be destruction, or it's a destructive end, so to say. So it is on this premise we want to welcome our guests, two major personalities who are Christians, born again, firebrand, both married by the grace of God, and they are business moguls in their different sectors and ramifications. One of them is a medical personality by profession, or by discipline, and also a business oriented individual. He is one person who the internet is his market, and he has been in that market for so many years now and has actually have benefit to show from being in that market. We also have another great personality who is into business. He is a, what's your discipline? Engineer, right?
Education.
Okay. He's an educationist and also a business personality. This one is not an internet businessman, he's a physical businessman. And it's a pleasure having both of you on this platform.
Thank you very much.
We believe that this, our little time we're spending together, is going to be a blessing to somebody.
Amen.
So before we proceed further, if you are watching us live, I'd like you to quickly share. Just click the share button right now and make sure someone is blessed by this transmission. Just click the share, invite your friends, your loved ones, and make sure they are connected to what is about to be shared. I promise you that when we are done, you will see wealth, not just in oblivion, but in manifestation in your life. Quickly, we want to know you. What's your name and what do you do, sir?
Okay, my name is Itoto Paul.
Okay.
Sir Jamin. I'm a graduate of medical physiology.
Okay.
I'm happily married with a child and into business as well as the forex market.
Okay. So you are a forex trader.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. We also have another dynamic personality who we want to know. Can we know you, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I'm honored for this wonderful meeting and the seat you have given to me.
Okay.
It's a privilege.
Thank you.
My name is Ehimark. I'm a businessman. I'm into sales. So, well, to my own, to the side of education, my qualification is educationist. I graduated from geography education. So that's my qualification. So I'm married by the grace of God.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Like I've said before, quickly share. Just click the share button and then let the world begin to watch us unravel mysteries that surround wealth creation. Like you know, we have so many Christians that are stranded. A lot of Christians are stranded. Sometimes when the Englishman wants to pass a message, He could then say this guy is as poor as the church rat. But we want to change that statement. We want it to be said that Bill Gates is as rich as a church rat. So we could do that if we have the right knowledge and apply the knowledge that we have to work, and then everything will become good for us. So if you want to be part of those who will make Bill Gates as rich as the church rat, listen attentively. Now, we're talking about wealth. I want to first ask this question, because a lot of us wouldn't have the total knowledge of it. What is your understanding about wealth?
Okay. Where the common misconception that many people have, they feel wealth is the cash.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the common misconception. But wealth is actually you being stable, financially, materially, in assets, in life. That's wealth. Because a man who's got all the cash in the bank and is constantly in the hospital from ill health and all that, you can't say that man is truly wealthy. So if you are wealthy, that means you are okay. You are very, very, very much balanced. Okay. That's my understanding of wealth.
Thank you very much. From what he said as his understanding of wealth, I have a little clause there which will make me ask the question quickly. There is nobody without an issue as far as this world is concerned. There's one challenge or the other. If you say wealth from your perspective is completion, when there is nobody complete on this earth, that means, if we go by your statement, that means nobody's wealthy.
Okay. True. From that clause which you have just brought out of my statement, okay, that's very, very true. It means nobody is wealthy. Yeah. Okay, let me just rephrase. You being balanced. Let's use balance as let's not use completion. Okay. Let's just say you being balanced as a person. When you are balanced, you're wealthy.
Okay, Mr. Ejai, we've heard from Dr. Osei Tutu.
Yeah.
We want to also get your own close view.
Well, to my own picture of wealth, actually, I would say before I became a Christian, I admire great things. But when I got into Christendom, when God found me and I gave myself, I understand the real purpose of wealth. Now, wealth is not man's idea. That's something I picked from God through the scripture. I understand that wealth is something God has made for his children. So in the sense that if they say man is wealthy, God is giving you wealth, then it has to do with your health, your well-doing, materially, your children, your home, your business, everything, to the society. So that means you are become a distributor to whatever means. So that's my own definition of wealth, to see that yes, you can be able to provide for, and to your own standard, you are not really lacking much, but you must be able to do something to bring joy and happiness to the society and your family round about.
Thank you very, very much. That was a quick one and it was wonderful. Now, if you have your contributions as you view, you just drop all in the comment section, or you could call in on our phone numbers that will be displayed on the screen shortly. You call in and then give us your contribution or ask your questions. The phone number is +234 9023 474 626. I say again, +234 9023 74 626. Make that call right now, and then we'll give the platform to you as you ask your question or you make your contributions. Quickly share this broadcast. Make sure it reaches out to somebody. It won't take you anything to just click the button share. Do so and let God use you to open the eye of somebody. Thank you. So you have both come with a concept of wealth definition, and both of them correlate. Both of them synchronize. It's just moving toward one same direction. But then we have a problem. We believe that God is the distributor of wealth. But we have seen over the years that wealth is gradually leaving the church. We have a lot of folks in the church, the majority of Christians, this is something that is the truth. Majority of Christians are broke. Majority of them live below average. And if we profess the faith that God is the originator of wealth, why then are those who are supposedly called the children of God broke? Let me ask you now. Why then?
Okay, I would like to say, in life, there are principles that you need to keep for certain things to come your way. It doesn't matter what religion or whatever you're doing. There's a particular principle that you need to, exhibit for certain things to come into your hands. Now, I've discovered in recent times, over the years, that from people around me and those afar who I've spoken to often, that there's something called a price that you need to pay. The problem I have with we in the church is that many of us, we don't want to pay the price to get value. We are just they're looking for how to get it quickly. And I've discovered that maybe you come to church and the man of God is preaching, yes, blessings have been released, but you don't just go home and fold your hands. I believe that there is no preacher that after releasing the blessings of God on you, that will tell you to go home and fold your hands. They will tell you to go. Even the Bible says, I will bless the work of your hands. You have to do something. There are principles behind it. Now, I was speaking to somebody the other time, and I told the person, I said, come, there are things that you need to do. You have a phone. You're doing something with your phone. You subscribe every day. But how many times have you gotten online to check possible ways to get with, and how many have you pursued? So these are questions that certain of us do not really answer by our actions. We don't study. We don't study because in terms of wealth, you have to study. You have to know certain things. You have to have certain knowledge. If you don't have certain knowledge, then how do you not do that thing which is going to bring wealth or cash your way? So in the church, many of us are just being complacent in our ways, in our reaction to wealth and things that can bring in wealth to us.
Okay, that's a wonderful one. That's a wonderful one. So in a nutshell, lacking knowledge is one of the problems why wealth is dissipating from the church. Okay, from the church. Now, what is your idea?
Yeah.
On that same concept, what is your idea?
Now, quickly, I will just chip in something. Now, if we really understand now this idea, now we know that yes, it is wise idea that launch us into opportunities and into lifting and increase and greatness. And with that wise idea, God also stepping in. Now, we've really seen in the church today that many of us, at times, we know the mindset of God concerning a thing. But to now apply it, put it in action, that is where the faith comes in as a believer. So that faith at times is where it's lacking in most believers, because they just want to see that, okay, God will just do the miracle. The thing will just open up for me to be able to embrace it. But from some few days ago, I tried to imagine some certain things. Like for me, I was opportune and I planted few maize. And when I was eating those maize, I realized something. I said, how did I come about this maize? We just plant a few seed on the ground, and the next few weeks we see that yes, it grown so wonderfully that we could eat so much. So we see now that yes, that's an idea, that's a miracle God has already done that so many of us will just ignorantly look over. But to my own point is that yeah, we must, as you have said, apply knowledge. Wealth begins with knowledge, because where there's no knowledge and understanding, then there can be no creation or manifestation of wealth in that person's life.
Okay, now, wonderful. Two things while you were talking, I picked that I want to reiterate. Those two things are: number one, you said the Bible says you will bless the works of our hands. Now, Nigeria has a system. Let's come back to Nigeria now as a country. That this system doesn't favor a lot of entrepreneurs. The system does not favor most entrepreneurs at all. The few entrepreneurs that are favored need to have one connection over the other. So there is no platform given for people to just become wealthy. The ones giving the kickbacks that those who give you opportunity gets from it will always make you be on a very stagnant level. Now let's take, for instance, great people who have become something in this world today, like Bezos, Jeff Bezos, like Bill Gates, like Warren Buffett, and so on and so forth. These people were assisted by their banks. Like Bill Gates came up and he was assisted with a couple of millions. Now in Nigeria, when you want to go into business or you want to get something working in your hands, and maybe your family cannot foot it, normally, certain people go to the bank to get a loan. But in this country, you cannot go to the bank and get a loan until you bring your grandfather's house with the land behind it, until you bring your mother's grave papers and so many. They ask for so many documents. And when you even think about it, you don't have all these documents. If your father had a land, you won't be where you are, or you won't be where you were at that moment. So, we are seeing this as one of the problems that is not enabling a lot of believers to launch out into the financial market. What is your advice?
Okay. For that, you've really hit a very, very important fact, and that's the truth. Banks, when you go to them to take money, they end up cutting many people's neck. I'll use mine as an example. I didn't really, obviously, I didn't have $1 million naira from, my people or relatives or something. But I have discovered something. Now, if we're talking about Bill Gates, if you look at all these rich men, you discover that a couple of millions was given to them. Even Donald Trump, I watched a video where he said that his father helped him with small $1 million to start. And I was like, small? You call $1 million small? And I was shocked. So the thing is, now we are in Nigeria. Even when you are in Rome, behave like a Rome.
Sure.
Yeah, you've got to attack your finances with high impact. I, for one, it got to a point. I would say my enemy was almost frustrated because there was almost not anything I do, and obviously with little capital. At the end of the day, I found out that the thing is always crashing, and I'm always starting again. And I had to go to online to search one, which I know that many youths, if not like 80% of youths that can access the internet have done, how to make money. And I came across certain things, and I decided to tell them. Now the thing is, as I said, knowledge. I have discovered that there are people who are willing to release money only if you know what you are doing. All you just need to do is get the facts in place that will convince somebody to give you money. Because obviously, when you go to the bank, even if what you are doing might not really bring out $1 million, but as long as there's a collateral, the bank does not really mind giving you the money. After all, if you cannot pay the money, they'll take your collateral from you and they'll get their money back. But as I said, knowledge is key. As a Nigerian, let's use Nigeria as a case study. You've got to know what you are going into. You've got to be able to do something, say something, put something together that will convince someone to give you his money. I was telling somebody today, I told the person, I said, in just a few months, I'm looking forward to a time when I'll meet somebody and the person cannot resist. All you need is one person. If you get one, That one is going to bring 10 people. If really what you are doing, if you have been able to sit down and develop yourself on it, it's just time. Because in Nigeria, obviously, you won't get someone that will give you £1 million for like that. So you've got to do something extra. You've got to go the extra mile. You've got to bring something that will convince someone to give you something that you can use as a startup and give him the possibility that, okay, my money is safe with you and it's going to come out. That's just what I see.
Okay. Like you, I know, didn't have that support like so many persons have, but you have done well for yourself.
Yes.
With how God has blessed you thus far. You have not gotten to where you want to get to, but you're not where you used to be. The process is actually very clear. So now, for such a status quo as Nigeria is going through, where government support is not there, bank support is not there, how do you suggest a church member who desire to become wealthy, how do you suggest such a person starts up? Because we have heard a lot of what they call them, all these sweet talkers, what they call them, there's a name for them.
Motivational speaker.
Motivational speaker. They will tell you, I started my restaurant with one spoon. I don't understand how you start your restaurant with one spoon. Some will tell you, this bank, I started with 1,000. My brother, let me give you 10,000 to start bank. I don't understand. So how did you start up, and how do you think a Christian that has nothing can start up? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll quickly just go straight to the point. Now, first of all, it starts with an idea. You as a person, you want to do something, you don't have to wait for people's idea to be your idea. First of all, you have to build up your idea. Be confident in that idea, no matter the opposition that comes from other people. Because what you see is not what they see. Now, I will give myself as an example. When I wanted to go into the business I'm doing today, it was an idea. I talked with my wife and we related it, and we are having some other idea. But when we looked at that idea, to me, where I came from is a shame. How can I be carrying something and hawking it? So first of all, now that was something I need to kill in me personally. So for you to start on your own, you have to kill that that self-pride. That one has to go down first when you have your idea. Then when you have this idea and you don't see any finances or any helpers coming in, how are you going to set up it? This is an idea for you to start with. Now, that idea which you have, there are people who are already made in that idea. There are people who are well doing. Now, you cannot just go and meet them and say, give me money, I want to start this. They will just look down on you and laugh at you. Now, what you simply need to do is to partner with them, as I did. I knew that, yes, one day I will be going with trailers and different from one to another. But I don't have the finance to just kick up once. What I did, I partner with those who are already carrying trailers, they were big investors. They were there, and they were both distributors also. So I just partner with, I was helping them to sell their product. Now they give me at a rate to see that yes, that when I sell, I also have my own. And so that was how I started. So that was one big way to start as somebody who is really serious. Now you just have to buy from them. You have to help them market their business. And in the process of marketing it, you yourself, you are getting connected. So that's one good idea to start with. So no matter what you want to do on this earth, there is somebody who is doing it and who is progressing in it. So all you just need is to get connected to that person. That person doesn't need to know where you come from, or who is your father, who is your mother. What the person wants to know, his market wants to move. So as far you can convince him, sir, just employ me. Or you can give him your own idea. This is what I want to do, but I don't have it, and I just want to partner with your own company. I want to partner with your own business. Then from there, it can be a contract. So from there, that person is so kind, can also help you. So I remember I still have those of my contacts that when I wanted to start up, I was helping them. They would journey off far and near and bring the product for me. And when I sell, I return back their money. And you must also be a sincere person. So first of all, they will try you. So that's one idea I see you can easily kick up with. to see that you don't have any limitation of finance. Thank you, sir.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. The truth of the matter is, every personality who actually wants to do well must first have an idea.
Yes.
Because that idea is like the foundation.
Yes.
Wherein you will build the future of the business. It first starts from your mind, which is what you have said, and then building it to a state where someone else can buy the idea.
Yes.
It becomes, you build it, you value it, you market it, then someone else can buy the idea. That is the summary of what you have said.
Yes.
And to do this, one has to also entrust.
Yes.
You have to be, you have to trust yourself to be able to get to a point where somebody can entrust to you products without having the fear of you missing.
Yes.
Wonderful. That trust is one thing lacking. We are lacking in Nigeria.
Very
A lot of persons have betrayed trust. So when you now go to some place where trust has been betrayed, and you are bringing the same dimension which the other person who betrayed the trust brought, that there will not be value bought from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now we are still talking about wealth creation. We are just at the peripherals, but we want to go deep and deep right now. If you are there watching, click the share button. Make sure this video reaches out to somebody who actually needs to hear and become somebody in life. And in so doing, the Lord will bless you real good. Once again, we have Mr. Osei Tutu and Mr. Ehimark with us, both business moguls in their different spheres and ramifications. Still on wealth creation, still on church members being broke, being poor, and still on what you have said earlier, that the Lord will only bless the work of our hand. I want us to take it. Let's enter into the Bible a little. Now, if you look at the story of Jabez, the Bible says Jabez was poor because his mother bore him in pain and gave him a name that concerns pain. So his life was characterized with what his name depicts. Now, the truth of the matter is, we have so many spiritual understanding of why somebody can be poor or broke, but we do not have physical knowledge of how people can come out of being broke. The church still thinks because you have been spiritually tied, then you need to be spiritually loosed alone, which calls for prayer and fasting and all the spiritual exercise. But after doing all of that, God will not bless the prayer that you have prayed or the spiritual exercise you have done. It needs an avenue. It needs an opening to go through to bless you. When Jabez prayed, the Bible says the Lord did not drop money from heaven. He enlarged his coast. Now, you know those who do business in the coast, sometimes it can be port, seaport. These are coastline businesses. Seaport transactions that are done by the port. God enlarged his coast. God needs an avenue through where he can bless you, because his blessings, even when they are unexplainable, but they must have a source. I don't know if you're understanding me.
Sure.
They are unexplainable. Sure. How have you become a billionaire? Man, I cannot just explain it, but this is what I do for a living. You won't throw money, manna won't fall again. The Bible has told us so. But the problem now is the church youth are seeing others who are in the fast lane. So they just enter into the business today, tomorrow they're riding cars. And they have taken their face away from what they ought to do. We want to get advices from both of you, because both of you must have gone through these hurdles, but stood your ground and said, I'll be legit. I will continue in this mind and become something. You had views, you pursued it with all readiness of heart, and you have come thus far. Give the church folks advice who think you can't make it in church, who think you have to step out of church, you have to do what others do to become something. Give them advice in 2-3 examples.
look at this, look at that, look at that. But look at what you have to do. You have already suggested the coast, okay, fine, you must have something doing. But then, there are others outside who are on the fast lane and they are doing, as it were, doing well. As it were, in the picture of materialism. What's advice? With 3 examples. Thank you, sir.
Amen. So I would like to really.
Oh, it's like we're having a caller. 1 minute. We're having a caller, but the line just dropped. Please, ma'am, call again. We'd like to hear from you again. Thank you very much.
Okay, with the examples. Now, looking at, let me quickly bring people in the Bible like David. David was someone who was meant for the palace. But we can see the life of David. It went through lots of all. It went through nights where mosquito had to bite him. He went through nights where he had to fight to kill wild animals in the bush just to save his flocks. He had to, he went through so many of those, and permit me to use this, the pata of them all, he had to go through Goliath to get to the palace. Now, one thing that youths must know is that the fact that you have seen someone on the fast lane who is making it and nothing has happened does not mean that the fast lane does not have dire consequences. It does. The fact that you have seen somebody who is doing what...
1 minute.
Okay.
The caller is calling again.
Okay.
Hello, good evening. What's your name and what can we do for you? Hello? Oh, it's like we're not hearing you. I'd like you to please cut and then call again. Hello? Okay. You please try and call again. Thank you. Yeah.
So, you want to go through Goliath to get to the palace. Look at Joseph. Look at Gideon. Gideon was someone who was hiding. He felt that, man, all these people, they are better than I am. But yet, he had to, come out of his comfort zone, and he became a man of valor. So these are.
Hello.
Okay.
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. Good evening. What's your name and where you
Good evening. Mrs. Peter Women.
Okay.
I'm calling from Lagos. I'm watching your program and it's a very nice one. I have a question I want to ask.
Okay.
We are talking about wealth let me use the word in the church. And as a believer, for instance, you are having an idea of a business that you want to venture in. And at the end of the day, you brought up this idea to the church. Most of the churches these days, if you are not a worker, to be specific, they can't assist you because not everybody will just come into the church and they'll start giving out money. But my question here is this. If you are a devoted Christian and you have a devoted Christian and also a devoted worker in the house of God, which your pastor or every other person they are knowing fully well, if you have this business idea and you want to start with, why can't the church most time help such people? Because you are trying to eradicate poverty from the environment, from the area, and yet there are so many people that want to do something, but they don't have the means. Where does the church now comes in there? That's my question.
Thank you very, very much. We're happy to have heard this wonderful question. Now, the truth of the matter is, the church actually assists a lot of people. And before they assist you, you have to be a worker. I guess that's one of the criteria. You have to be a worker, somebody who, when you are assisted, you also become an assistant to somebody else. That's one. If the church deems fit to assist you, even when you are not a member, that's another ball game. They can do that for you at their discretion. Even the Bible says, take heed of thyself first before thy sheep. And that means God is giving privileges to those who work in the household, who are of the household of faith. One. Then number two, if you go by what you have just contributed, you will discover that the church
has a lot to take care of first before stepping out to be of assistance to individuals. Now, the income of the church also matters. Let's take, for instance, a church has a total income in a month of 10,000, and then they have like 4 major services on Sunday, or 4 Sundays of the month to have their services, and each of the Sunday you have to spend like 2,000. You discover that at the end of it all, the church is left with 2,000 naira, and they have to pay workers. You see, they're already running into debt. Most of the churches would have loved to support workers and non-workers, but income is also an issue. Income is also an issue. Income is also an issue. If the income is not commensurate with the expenditures, you discover that there is problem in assisting people. There are a lot of churches that assist people, like where we are at the moment. There are a lot of people whose businesses we started for them. There are a lot of people whose handwork we opened for them, and we wouldn't have to come online to announce it. Reasons are because God has told us when you become a blessing to somebody, somebody else doesn't have to hear about it or know about it. It is God that takes the glory in all of it. So a lot of these things are happening. We advise pastors to empower its workers when they have the capacity. They cannot go outside their capacity to assist people. We have seen churches who end up in turmoil because somebody was assisted, and the person, after being assisted, was nowhere to be found, and then the pastor, blah blah blah, a lot of problems and all of that. So if the pastor has the capacity to do so, the word of God advises him to do so, and he should do it stresslessly. He shouldn't become indebted because you need to assist somebody and then get into problems and all of that. The word of God strictly advises us against all of this. Please, pastors, if you are listening to me wherever you are, invest on your followers, invest on your workers, invest on people, because when you invest on people, it stands the test of time. Do not divert money into places where it will become blessings to people. Make sure you bless someone, and that person becomes a blessing to somebody else. I'll run it up by saying, in Genesis 12, the word of God came unto Abraham. The Bible says, and God said to Abraham, I'll bless you, and in blessing you will become a blessing to others. So when the church is going through blessings or has been blessed, they too should reciprocate the same blessing to their members, empower their visions. Make sure you stand by them financially, encourage them, and push them to become somebody. We do that in our little way, and we have bountiful harvest from these people we have invested in. Thank you very much, ma. We are grateful. We ask the Lord bless you. Thank you. Amen. So we are still on course, and I believe my answer was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Peace. So now we are still in the area of advising people who are in the church to stick to process. They need to stick to process. Process has made use. Like you said, David went through the bush. That's process. There is a season of drought when you are going through process. And you have advised them with such, wonderful explanation, and I was blessed by it. David is a wonderful character to follow. You understand what I'm saying? So, man of God, we want you to add to what he has said. David was a wonderful character. You also. What do you have to say when it comes to people who are actually thinking of leaving the church? Since the church is not helping issues, leaving the church, let's go into the fast lane, join up all those people. At the end of it, I'll come back to church to testify and do thanksgiving when I get blessed.
Yeah, actually, I'll quickly just speak on that. Now, like I said from the beginning, when I was defining wealth, I said wealth is not man's idea, but it's God's idea.
Okay.
So since God is in charge of the church and we Christians, so he has already laid down rules, principles to see, okay, I will know when this person is walking in this right direction, then this person is not killing into my principle for me to manifest myself. Now, one principle we can truly see about that concerning increase is the life of in the book of Genesis, where you just make mention of where God said to Abraham, and I will bless thee and it shall be a blessing. Now, first of all, God brought something. Abraham was having something for him to be a blessing. And also, as he was blessing, so also his blessing was increasing. Now, when we go to the book of Malachi, chapter 3, when God gives a principle concerning tithing, he said, and when we lay down our tithe, he said, he will open up the windows of heaven. That was one. Secondly, and what? He said, our storehouse will overflow. So which means he's looking at our storehouse. And that storehouse is what will now bring expansion.
That means you need to have a storehouse.
You need to have a storehouse.
Preparation is needed.
Yes. And so then your tithing has to be recorded spiritually that this man is a tither. And I've been privileged to see in the church where God will point to somebody and say, this man does not pay tithe. And that have given me a concern. If God could, this man's blessing could be hindered and say, this man does not pay tithe, we may God recognize tithing. That's one. And also in the midst of that tithing, there is where he comes and rebuke the devourer. So that's another one. Now in the place of, there are so many principles. There's another principle we said, bless the poor. You must not have 10 million. You must not have, it is something, you're blessing the poor man, just help him, maybe coming from the farm. Help him, his strength is preserved and you are using your strength. So that's a concern. God is not just interested in people just having the wealth, but God is interested in those who are keeping the principles. Now we quickly look at the world, which now we see that yes, they are making it outside the world. Why those in the church are not making it? The truth is, it is first of all, when you look at our forefathers, what they did in the past, that's why the wealth got seized. That's why God, the trust to humanity from God was seized. And so now we have to now create this trust with God again by following his principles. And that one line is giving and discovering the secret principles spiritually God has laid down. Since wealth is not man's idea, wealth is God's idea, then it needs God's idea to manifest the wealth in the life of a man.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now we want to dive into generating this wealth. And in generating wealth, you have to have multiple streams. You mustn't be stereotyped to one source of income.
Yes.
There is no scripture that perforates you or sidelines you or advises you to just stick to one. Like Abraham, where you made the reference now. Abraham was a man of cattle.
Yeah.
Abraham also dug wells. Abraham also fought and got the spoils of nations.
Yes.
He was a businessman. He was a warrior. He was an investor. You could see that all through his life. And today, we are still clamoring for Abraham's blessings. So now, what are the quickest business that a believer can enter? The quickest business is like, what are the quickest ones now that you can say, okay, start up something, this is what I start up, in 3 months, 4 months, I should start making something reasonable from it. Yeah.
First, I would like to say, if as a believer or as an individual, when you are going into a venture that is to bring in, money, one thing that you must kill, which is very difficult among individuals, you must kill that that mindset of I want to make it quickly. It's something that has really bankrupted many. I want to make it quickly. I want to make. You find people who are already succeeding, then just along the way something just comes that was not part of their plan. They just pumped money into it and it didn't close. And at the end of the day, you start hearing things like, I knew before that this thing, my mind was telling, all those kind of stuff. So as an individual, first of all, and as a believer also, you have to remove the mind of quick money. It has to, that mentality has to leave you. Because when you remove the mentality of quick money, you concentrate on that thing which you have set up your mind to build. I usually tell people I've spoken to, I tell them, what can give you $1 today can give you $1,000 tomorrow. It gives you $1 today, and next year January it starts giving you $1,000. Now, if today you are impatient and decide to go through the fast lane and lose the money, you will get to January, and in January you start regretting how I wish you had built it. Now, there are many things that as a believer you can go into. You can go into sales. You can go into like I personally, I trade the financial markets. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but it is something that can pay you at the end of the month. You can come and say, okay, I want to withdraw this amount of profit. That was one thing that I went into sales for a while. I was into sales for so many years, distributorship for various companies over the years before I came across the financial market, the forex market, and I went into it. I tried to build my capacity, build mastery, as the case may be, and I'm still building mastery by God's grace. So these are things, sales and the financial market. It's something that you can easily do. I personally, speaking on the financial market, because I know that my brother here is one that really is into sales, like basically. Now, I for one, if I speak on the financial market, I will tell you, I'll say when you go into it, price is what you must pay. I have seen people who have asked me, Alpha, what are you doing? How you take the doing? You just stay calm, you do all those kind of things. And I tell them, okay, see what I'm doing. And when I start telling them, okay, see the process you need to pass through in this thing, you discover that some of them they go back. They don't want to pay the price. If you look at Warren Buffett lost millions of dollars in investing, but yet he's one of the richest men today, and he will tell you that it is time. Long-term investing is better than short-term investing, because the long-term investing pays bigger. So when I tell them, especially the ones in the church, I tell them, come, look at the thing I did, look at how I did, you see the price I had to pay. And I still tell people up to the youth that I speak to, I tell them that if the times I spent in school, I regret them to some extent, because I didn't really get to, fraternize with people who had the mindset of making success in life. Giving you like a platform for thinking, like, okay, this is what you should do. I never had such. I still say that today, and I tell them, I say, come, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. Start today, because a time is coming during this pandemic period. People's shops were closed. People were hungry. There's someone I know, there's a guy I know, he's a mentor in the financial market. He said something. He said, try and pursue a skill in the financial market. So, and just yesterday on Friday, he showed a live video, and he made 852,000 naira in 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I'm like, man, sir, I honor you greatly for this thing. I really honor you. God bless you. And he was like, he gave me a thumbs up, and I said, sir, I would love to be like you someday. Fraternizing with people that are, that are successful is another thing. Now, there's a quote, sorry to a particular company I'm going to call, I don't mean, it's just a quote. And the quote was that the person said, if you want to drive a Rolls Royce, do not fraternize with Toyota drivers. I saw it as deep. What the person was trying to say is that if you want to make this impact in life, do not fraternize with people who probably are not making similar impact. Fraternize with people who make that impact, who made that impact that you want to make. So go into this thing, and with time, remove the mind of quick money. That's one thing that has killed believers. Remove them. If you know you are selling oil, and that oil, stay with it. As time goes on, you will discover that from that stream of income, you will build another one. That is how it works. And before you know it, you find out you have multiple streams of income. Abraham, that you just said, didn't get all those things at once. It was a step-by-step process. So in the church, many of us are lacking this step-by-step process. We want to make it quickly, and it's not really helping.
That's wonderful. I have a scenario of someone who got a loan from the bank, entered into multiple businesses, and the money the bank gave to him was so much that he said, let me build a house. Built a house, bought a car. The bank came, collected the house, collected the car, and arrested him.
Obviously, that was not why I thought.
He built a house. I don't know who advised him, but he built a house and bought a car. The bank came, collected the car, collected the house, arrested him. I don't know. I guess that person will regret till he died. If he doesn't even die of, what do they call it? Depression.
Depression.
So, it's been a wonderful time.
Wonderful, wonderful time. The world is coming back to the church because Christians are no longer stupid.
Yeah.
We have discovered that we have ability even in our inability. We have strength even in our weakness. We have discovered that it's not just to have the knowledge, it's the right implementation of that knowledge that we have. And in so doing, we wouldn't want to be stupid anymore. Even if you are a student, learn a trade. There should be something as an added value to whatever you have gotten, even from the four walls of the academic circle. Now, I want to ask this question. Mr. AJ Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
There are pastors who preaches against loan. We have, they have scriptural backups.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. You shall lend to the nation, you will not borrow. A lot of backups from scriptures. You happen to be a businessman and also a pastor, so obviously I know you won't lie. Was there at any point you got a loan or you thought of getting a loan or something?
Yes, actually it happened. Because there was a time where I was sure that yes, now it's time for me to expand. I was really sure because I was really tired of my struggling then. I said I need to expand because we just need more profit. And we had the idea, we saw the light, we saw the way. So what do? We don't have the finance. Even my family, they don't have the finance. So the best thing I did, I knew then, I haven't seeked and I asked. I said, as a child of God, I understood God have made mention that we should not borrow, but we should lend to nation. Now I came to understand, lending to nation, you must have to lend. So you who have, he said, don't borrow. So the best thing I did.
You that don't have, you can borrow.
Well, this was the best thing I did. What I did, because of my faith and belief, I met with my dad. I told him. He himself borrowed the money for me. So that was how I got that money.
Now, wait, should you say you weren't having the credibility
Yes.
to just get from a bank?
Yes.
But your dad had the credibility.
Yes.
So he just entered the bank for you.
Yes. And he stood for me.
He stood for you.
Yes.
And okay, over the years, sorry we are diving into, because your life has become a testimony, and that's why we can bring you up this stage. Now, were there sleepless nights when you were paying?
There were sleepless nights. True, that was one thing about God really said don't borrow. Because you won't have rest. Because you have a target to meet at the end of the month.
Okay.
And because there's a transaction you and the bank has to agree on. And so at times you need to work. You work morning till night to make sure that yes, that money. And there was a particular time I returned the money to just the truth. Because there was no rest. I have to work 24 hours. Make sure that yes, this money did not come to an extent that yes, it will not be a failure to my name or to my parents. So borrowing money, there is no rest. That's just the secret behind it. The money might give you the profit you are looking for, but that profit will also go back to the bank.
So your counsel on that is what? Should people still continue borrowing or?
Well, to my own personal experience, no, don't borrow. To my own personal experience, I don't know about certain other persons.
But you borrowed now?
Yes, I borrowed, but the money did not favor me. It did not favor me because my working and everything was to meet up, because the bank at least, they were trying to be favorable, but the truth is they are not favorable. They gave you a profit. For instance, you borrowed 100,000 and they are telling you to bring 10,000. Now, if you look at it at the end of the month, it depends on your market. Now, that 10,000 you are going to make for that money, maybe you are making 15,000 or something. You are giving back the bigger profit. And at times, challenges might come.
Yes.
And you will not be able to meet up. And so, from there, what happened? Whatever it stands for, they will just come and help you take, if it is your house, your car, or anything. You see, it belongs to them already. Yeah. So, to my own personal experience, the truth is, don't borrow. If you want to borrow, look for somebody who is a family. That one you can easily deal with. They can easily give you money to borrow, and yet that money will not be a very high rate to pay back.
Thank you very, very much. Pastor AJ has advised us not to borrow, but yet borrow. No, he said we should borrow from bank.
Yeah,
just borrow from
family.
Okay. Is that family owned?
It's
They can
not
come
borrow.
and shout at you, tell you, hey, kill me. Okay. Now, my Father in the Lord has taught us something that on no reason should you borrow, because people speak out of experiences.
Yes.
Like now, when there is a battle, the first thing Jesus will always say is hold your peace. When you hold the bank, you cannot hold your peace because your peace was the collateral.
Yes.
Forget
Yeah.
the
Forget the
paperwork.
paperwork and
Your
everything.
peace was the major collateral you handed over to the bank.
Yes.
That for these few months, I'm in pieces. Yes.
That's true.
Because your thoughts is
Man,
that is why all my life I have never been to the bank to collect. I have seen people. A great man in this town lost his duplex, and come and see the way the guy was crying.
How is it?
Sold his equipment, got bank loan. Let's be wise. They will sweet talk you. They will give you. They won't tell you the rope you are using to rope yourself. They will only tell you how the rope look good on you. But later you will understand that the rope marks, the scars of that rope, they won't leave your body for years to come. So it's important to be wise, and then get the plans, the ideas, pray God provide for you, and God can provide you with helpers, or with another idea of getting the finances. It is important we do all of this. Thank you very much. Now, we are coming to the close of this program. I have been blessed. Your contributions, because these are real life contributions. We are not talking from oblivion now. We are talking about your life experience and how it has blessed people. Now, the church is getting into a dimension of wealth now. Because we are no longer stupid. We have understanding of our hands should work and God should bless it.
Yes.
We have that understanding. Our hands has to work. Bible says, let him that does not work, let him not eat. So we have understanding of that, and we are working tirelessly and selflessly, and God is blessing. To be consistent in that work, there ought to be spiritual backing. This is where I want us to envelop this segment. Tithing has been a source of argument. Tithing is one of the ways you can envelope your blessing, keep it intact, make it void of devourers, and so on and so forth. But there is an argument. Those who were in church before, they are not. Many church members are feeling, I don't think there's it. They are having it as an excuse, like, okay, it's an Old Testament something. And I discovered that every Bible being made has Old Testament and New Testament. The Old Testament is not cut off. We are still together. Jesus has just come to, simplify the laws, giving us grace to live better, giving us grace to live on a better platform. Now, what is your advice in 2 minutes for those who have heeded to this satanic doctrine that they shouldn't pay tithe? What is your advice?
Well, first of all, I will quickly say my advice to them, according to the word of God, is that they will not prosper. That's one. And secondly, at times, if I say this, they will say maybe either they will say I'm wicked or God is wicked. The truth is, God can allow wrong things to happen to you. He can allow it to happen to you. The truth is, I've experienced it, and I know I'm speaking from experience, that God can, because of your giving, stand in the gap for you. God can, because of your giving, because of your blessing to others or to his work, stand for you, that nothing evil or nothing wrong will happen to you. And those who are against tithing, or who are saying, okay, tithing is Old Testament of 18. The truth is, look at this. I make a reference today about the crops we plant. They are Old Testament, but we are still experiencing them today. Our forefathers, that was what they did. They started with. And the truth is, till today, we don't know how it manifests. We just put seed on the ground. And in the next few weeks, few months, few years, you are harvesting something that would give you good health. So we see that what God provides does not die. When Jesus came, he said, I've not come to work against the law, but I've come to perfect it, to fulfill it. So you that is not paying tithe, my advice to you is go back to that principle. Kill on it, because I'm privileged to be a child of God who is paying tithe. So please and please, it is God will not just only work on your business alone, because your health is your own business. If you don't have health, there's no way you can move forward for your business. So there are so many things tithing does, unknown to us as a believer, that commands God into our lives. We might not see the real wealth that you just expecting, but in time it will come. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Now, apart from tithing, there are other ways to get the blessings of God. Tithing is there as not a law, but a covenant.
Yes.
Because prior to the law, which was Moses, prior to Moses' existence, tithing was already available. Abraham tithed. He gave his tithe to Melchizedek, the priest. So you see, tithing didn't come by law. It's a covenant that God had with Abraham. Just like circumcision.
Yes.
Circumcision of the male genitals didn't come by law. It was a covenant. So if it was an Old Testament thing, why did they circumcise people? They should say it's law, and then they go with it. Yeah. But it's a covenant that Abraham had with God, and his household were circumcised. So people who peddle such wrong information should understand that this information are not founded on God's word. They are hell bound. They are from the gate of hell, and they shouldn't be peddled again. Also, man of God, Mr. Osei Tutu, what other ways adds value? What other ways of covenanting add value apart from tithing? What other ways? Because people talk about sowing seed and all of that. What about ways? Other ways that you're aware about?
Aside from tithing, generally giving is something that can also, help you at preserve. Like he said just now, he said when you don't have health, you don't have business, you don't have anything. Even the work of your hand that you are doing, you might not be able to do it.
Sure.
I have been in situations where giving has saved my life. Because there was a time where I came to God and I gave him something. And I told him, take this thing, take. And if that thing had been with me, I would have embarked on a particular, journey. And at the end of the day, when something happened and I was like, God, so this was what you used in preserving my life. So we must, as Christians, we must learn to give. Then there are people who are preserved by reason of their own personal covenant. This one is not what Bible has said you should do with God. There are people who have, they will say, God, this is what I want to keep doing for you. This is how I want to keep doing it. Whether rain, whether sun, they are in this covenant. It is between them and God, and it is preserving their life. For those people who say, so I will dive into tithing. For those people who come and just say tithing is this, is that, if it needed to be abolished, Jesus would have edited it in the New Testament. Jesus didn't speak about it because it was not worth editing, so he left it there. That's why I said I've come to pay. The fact that he didn't speak about it didn't mean that it was not still, it was not still, authentic.
He corrected a lot of things.
Yeah.
He
didn't make mention. It meant that that one was okay. That's why he left it. It was okay. That is why he left it. So for many of us who are, peddling it, I posted on Facebook one day. I said, come, if you know you want to tithe, tithe. If you know you don't want to tithe, sit down. Let those who are tithing tithe, and let those who say they don't want to tithe, let them sit down. And whatever works for you, you do it.
Yeah.
On the last day, we will know the right thing and the wrong thing. That was also.
Thank you very, very much. You will agree with me that it's been a wonderful time with you on this platform, Event TV. I want to appreciate the producers of this
Event TV talk show, which is Strong Talk. I want to also appreciate those who have come to be blessings to us. We have learned a lot today. We have understood how to develop the talents we have and then make it something that others will see and will value. We have also understood today that it is important to tithe. It is important to have covenants that will spiritually help us blossom like the palm tree. And this is something we learned from these wonderful men on this platform. Please, I'd like you to share this broadcast, even while we wrap it up right now. Share this broadcast with somebody. Make sure someone is blessed. Make sure someone is reached by it. And now somebody just dropped a message. We'll round up with this one. He said, I think being rich in life has nothing to do with righteousness. Some persons has the destiny to be great naturally. I've come across a lot of persons who does not even go to church, but they are great. Catholic Church does not preach tithe, but they are great. Okay, promise power or progress power. I'd like to also bring to your knowledge that recently the Catholic Church now pays tithe. If you are not aware,
that's true.
The Catholic Church takes tithe now.
They call for tithe.
They call for tithe now in their services, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are a Catholic.
Yes, sir.
In their services, they take tithe right now. So you have to have that knowledge. And again, we are not talking about being rich, R-O-I-C-H. No, we're talking about being wealthy. Being rich is quite different from being wealthy. Being wealthy is the prosperity that God gives to you. God gives you grace to prosper. Being wealthy makes you complete to a certain level. Being rich is just one part of life. You can be rich and have money, but you don't have good health. You can be rich and have money, but business is down. You can be rich and have money, and many other things are out of the way. So that is also part of it. Say you have met with people who you discover that it is in their destiny to be rich. No, sir. God has not made anyone to be poor. Everybody created by God was created big. We are all created for the garden. After the garden was made for us. So it's important you know that. You know, as we travel on the journey into destiny, we discover that decisions we make determine if we will be wealthy or if we'll be stranded. They are all functions of our decision. Choices are ours, not even God's. Let me say again, not even God's choice on who become big or small. There are principles someone who wants to become big will adhere to and become big. And there are principles that one avoids and becomes stranded. So that is it. Power, progress. We appreciate you for your contribution. Thank you very much. So we'll call it a day. We have next Saturday for another wonderful topic. And we're going to be prepared for that. Thank you very much, sirs. Thank you, and thank you. Sir. We really appreciate your time. Now, for those of you who have watched, thank you very much for watching. Your data is not lost. I pray God kindle you with more and more of His grace. By the grace of God, next week we intend to have some gift cash prize to share. We'll be having a wonderful question that we'll ask. If you can answer it correctly, I'm talking to my viewers right now, there will be gift cash to transfer to your account quickly. We'll just transfer it sharp whilst we are still on the service. So please come ready, come smart as the questions are asked, even to the tune of 20,000, 10,000, 20,000, 5,000 cash prizes will be distributed next Saturday on Strong Talk. We're preparing for it. I won't tell you the topic right now, but I'll tell you that is so that it will catch you off balance, and then bam, we'll start distributing the money. God bless you, and see you next Saturday. Remember, tomorrow is our Heaven Must Hear This, and a Monday meeting is 5 p.m. as well. Try and be around. God bless you.